So I am from Texas. I was born and raised there. I spent most of my life there. I have family in Kerrville, in Kerr County, and I want to dispel some of these rumors. It's super fun to try and sit back and point the finger at the Trump administration and Doge and say that they are responsible for the events that led up to the tragedy that is unfolding in Texas. That's just not true. So let's talk about Texas a little bit. Texas is no stranger. They're very familiar with these kinds of tragedies, right? So if you go back to 2015, there was another flooding incident in this same area that killed 11 people. And then 2016, we had Hurricane Harvey, and that did billions of dollars in damage and killed another 83 people. And so President Obama said, here's $100 million. Please fix your early warning systems. Please fix your response system. So they gave this to the Texas Emergency Response, and they said, here, fix your stuff, right? And Kerrville said, it'd be great if we could get $1 million of that $100 million you've been given from the federal government. If we get $1 million of that to improve our early warning system, to give us some new sensors and probably some sirens, that would be great, so we could warn people when these floods are going to happen. And Texas said no. And there were certainly some people in Kerrville and Kerr County who didn't want the sirens. They're ugly and they're loud and they were worried that they were going to be annoying, sure. But the biggest reason was that they didn't want to spend the money, right? And Kerrville has a budget of $30 to $40 million, and Kerr County has a budget of $17 million. That's a lot of money for them, but Texas has a budget of $320 billion. Texas spent $221 million on shipping migrants to other cities. But they couldn't find that $1 million to help Kerr County. And I don't want to put all of this on Texas. So in 2021, we get the Economic Stimulus and Recovery Act, right? And so Kerr County gets something like $10 million. And they were like, what do we do with this? And they held these town halls, and these people were going up and talking and saying, we need to send it back because we don't want this strings attached socialist communist money from Joe Biden. And then they were like, well, if we send it back, they're just going to give it to blue states. So we should just take it. So we'll take it. We'll take this $10 million. And they gave almost all of it. They gave $9 million to the Kerr County Sheriff's Department. So this money that was supposed to go stimulate the economy was spent, $7 million of it went to Motorola for new communication systems for the Sheriff's Department. And then they hired some new administrators for the Sheriff's Department. And they gave all the people in the Sheriff's Department raises. And that wiped out $9 million of this $10 million for economic stimulus. The other $1 million, I don't know what they did with that. But they couldn't find the $1 million to improve the early warning system that for an area that is known as Flood Alley. We know this area floods. And so when your entire purpose is punishment instead of protection, when you can find all of the money in the world for punishment, like shipping migrants and giving communications to Sheriff's Department for an area that had, a dozen murders in 20 years, right? You can give all of them all of the money that you can find, but you cannot find any money for protection. This is what happens. So if you want to know the price tag that Texas Republicans, Texas conservatives put on 121 lives and 176 missing people, that price tag is $1 million. But I bet, because now the optics are bad, I bet next year they find it.